Hey, welcome to the Sister Trucker channel. Okay, two things I want to discuss today. Home time and some current events that I just kind of caught myself up on. Okay, let me see if I can adjust my light. I'm trying to figure out lighting. We're progressing, y'all. We can progress. Can y'all see me pretty good? I hope so. Okay, anyway, this started on my home time, and I got a question for y'all. When you guys are on your way home, in home time, does it seem like that always happens to be an issue with your load canceling, or an issue with you trying to drop off your load to the receiver, i.e. wrong date, wrong time, or some kind of malfunction? Truck breakdown, trailer issues, tire pops, whatever. I always tend to have some issue every time I try to come home, and it gets annoying sometimes. It's sort of like I already planned it, so it's sort of like when I'm getting ready to go home, I'm already expecting it, so that in my head I'm not like totally freaking out anymore. So Jesus, this is what happened to me. I took a load going into Tennessee on my way home. So I get there, the place looks abandoned. Everything is like unkept, grass is overgrown, trees, bushes are overgrown, leaves are all over the place. So I'm calling, customer service, and I'm like, are y'all sure y'all gave me the right address? Cause this don't look like anybody's there. So they call, and the guy who was supposed to be waiting for me was up the road. So he came back, and he was letting me know that they had just acquired the property, and he wasn't expecting any trucks to be coming in this soon because they hadn't even had a chance to clean up yet. So but while he's apologizing, I'm trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to get the truck in there, because one, it's already a small spot, and two, the overage, the overgrowth was just incredible. It was the bushes had grew like at least 10, 15 feet over the concrete. And I needed all of that concrete to make that turn into that dock. So, we had to do it slow. I kind of like bent some of the branches, some of the thicker ones. I kind of like bent them so that they would be going downwards instead of straight out. But I still had to take it slow to get in there. And leaves was everywhere. Over there, the foliage is starting to fall. And you have the overgrowth in the grass area. So I get the truck in the dock. I'm going slow. I'm not in no hurry, because I know this is an obstacle course right now. So I'm going in slow, and I get it in, no problem. He said that was his third truck in 2 days. And he said that I had got it in the quickest, because he said usually everybody kind of like, they're trying to come in the other way, where you have to do a reverse dock to get in. And you're not going to be able, because there's not enough room to go in like we would normally do, where you come and you go in so that you can see your back. You got to do it in reverse. So after I get it in and I get it done, I'm like walking around, and I hear this noise, and I see the leaves flying. They're flying off in the back by the trailer, and I'm looking like, what the heck? And oh my gosh, I didn't something at that time. I knew I had blew a tire, but I'm trying to still figure out, how did I blow a tire, or did I blow the tire before I got here? It's like, you have all of these different things going on in your head at the time. Like, was my tire low? Did I hit something across a railroad track? What could I have possibly hit, Oh my gosh. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it, and it's hard for me to see because, it's a small dock, and it's like on a down slope, so it's got all these rocks, but you could just see that the tire is literally like just holding on for dear life, and it's flat, and I'm like, wow, crap. I took a video of it. I'm gonna attach it to the end of it, so y'all can see what these tires was looking like. So I'm like, okay, so I call, and I knew I was nowhere around any truck stop, because I went a good 60, 70 miles without a truck stop. So I call the company that owns the trailer, and I let them know what happened to the tires, and they're like trying to find a place to fix it. But the closest place around is 75 to 85 miles away. It was a couple of cities over. So, because I'm in the mountains, okay? So I'm sitting here like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm getting unloaded. I figured, it's going to take them a while. I was carrying 44.5. So I figured it's going to take them a while to get, to get me unloaded because it was a bunch of small stuff. So it was going to take them a minute. So I figured that they would have the Loves would come and, would be there by the time I got done being loaded. But they got me unloaded in about 2 hours, and it took them 3.5 hours to get there. And when he got there, I had by then pulled out, drugged my trailer, because one thing about super singles, when you bust the super single, it attaches to your airline. So if the air is shooting out, you don't have any traction. It's not filling up the chambers so that you can pull the trailer. So the trailer isn't moving on its own anymore. So I'm like, okay. So, but I mean, I wasn't going to move it far. I just wanted to get it out the dock in case somebody else had came in. So I was like, okay, cool. So I sat off to the side. The guy gets there from Love's, and we're looking at it. We're looking because I'm still trying to figure out, what happened. Was it a spike nail? I didn't know what had happened. And the tire literally had a whole slice. It sliced the sidewall like a C-section. It sliced it. I was like, doggone, how in the heck? What in the heck did I run over that would have sliced that tire up like that? And so I'm walking around while he's fixing the tire, and apparently at one time they must have had poles on the sides of the dock. And I guess too many people were having issues getting in this dock once they started using, because it was the dock is old, and you could tell it was made for straight trucks, but now 53 footers is trying to get it in there. So I guess they must have cut down the poles that they had up there, but you couldn't see the poles because they were covered in leaves and rocks and stuff. But my trailer tire found it. So I showed it to the people who own the property now and let them know that they might want to get that fixed so this doesn't happen anymore. So they took pictures. They called up to the place and let them know what had happened. I'm pretty sure that's going to be between them and the people that own the trailer. I took pictures. I sent everything to them, and it cost almost $3,500. Let me get closer. $3,500 for them to come and fix a tire for a super single. But it gets better than this, because after he fixed that one tire, he called me and showed me the other trailer tire that sits next to the one that blowed out. And somehow that metal gouged into the second sidewall of the second super single, and it was too dangerous to drive. So in my head, I started already tallying up. Like, it took him 3.5 hours to get to me with one tire. So it's going to take him 3.5 hours to get back and bring me another tire before I can go home. But he was like, he saw me, my eyes, I get big, I'm all in my head. And then he's like, no, you okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put some rubber on this. He said, you empty, right? I was like, yeah. He said, okay. We're going to put some rubber on this. He said, you're going to go drive to the nearest truck stop, and you're going to get this joker fixed. I was like, okay, cool. I'll do that. No big deal. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he goes and he repairs the one that didn't blow. I called the company and let them know, I got to take this second, what's going on with the second super tire. And they were like, what? Another one? And I was like, yeah. They're like, no. What we're going to do, what we need you to do, because it's cheaper for them to do it at their garage because they already have the tires there anyway. So they were like, hey, you know how they worded, do you feel safe enough to drive to drop this trailer off to the nearest OC? And I already I don't blame them because that was $3,500 for one truck tire. I don't blame them at all. And I knew the truck trailer, I knew it was empty. And I was like, all right, I think I could do this. And I just take my time. I was only 200 miles away from the OC. So I picked a load where I would be empty for the most of it. So I picked a load where I picked up in Georgia, and then I dropped off 30 miles away from the OC. And the load was only 2,000 pounds. It was only those little bubble wrap. I was carrying bubble wrap. So I figured, okay, well, this should be cool enough. I wasn't going to do nothing stupid and carry nothing heavy because I didn't want a lot of pressure on the wheel. And I wasn't going to drive fast. And it wasn't really that hot, so I didn't have to worry about too much expansion. I wasn't driving too far. So I was like, okay, I think I could pull this off. So I did. I pulled it off. They were happy. They were like, thank you for, saving us some money. And I got it to them. And we just traded out trailers. So by the time I got it there, the maintenance department had already left. So I just left that trailer there, grabbed another empty, and kept it going. So that's how my weekend, and then I'm off. Now I can come home. Now I can come home instead of, being able to go home, when I was trying to go home. But yeah, so that was my little experience trying to get home this time. So when I get home, I start catching up on current events a little bit, just a little bit. I don't like to, put too much stuff out when it comes to, politics and stuff like that. So what I was watching, I had saw a clip on YouTube where people were mad at Ice-T. They were saying Ice-T is supporting Trump. And I'm like, really? That was interesting. So I was curious, and I watched his CNN interview, and I watched Roland drag him, and a whole lot of other, platforms were getting on him about what he was saying. But what I was interested in was the words that he was saying. I didn't want to hear the clips. I wanted to hear the words that he was saying. And I didn't see anything. Honestly, I didn't see nothing wrong with what he was trying to do. He kept saying that he extended the same dialogue or the same kind of interaction on both sides. But the Republicans were the only ones who reached out to him, and the Democrats didn't. Well, the Democrats did, but they wanted him to talk to, somebody that doesn't have any power or can't make any promises. He was looking to talk to somebody who has the power to create the change, like he did when he spoke to the Republican side. So I don't really understand why everybody was getting so bent out of shape, because I don't think he was doing anything wrong. I think that he was doing just like what everybody else does. The NRA, the farm, big farm, media, businesses, everybody looks out for their own agenda. They will vote for you if you line up with what it is that they want. What do you promise to lower our taxes so we don't pay so much? That's the rich people. That's the big businesses. They want to know, about outsourcing and insourcing and tax brackets and tax breaks and stuff like that. They want to know what's he going to do for them for their vote. So I don't understand why everybody was so upset when he wanted to talk to them about what was he going to do that was going to benefit Black people. And I watched one of the episodes, what is it called? The Queens. I watched them because I was looking like, okay, these Black women, they're talking with him. I thought it was going to be a positive experience, but it seemed like they jumped on him You know, they were saying like, well, what about the black woman agenda? And he's like, I was talking to them about black people, and they were like, well, we're not black people, we black women. And I'm looking like, what? I don't understand. I think what happened in it, and I'm so sad because this could have like really been a very positive experience, but I think that at that moment everybody was in their own head and they weren't hearing the words coming out of his mouth, because I don't think I think it's sort of like they were waiting for that one word, and it's sort of like they pounced on it, and that they took it all out of context, and it just wasn't making any sense to me anymore. And you know, the way that I feel about it is, if we're looking for progression when it comes to things that would benefit, that we need as black people, black Americans, that we're going to have to get out of this box that they've lined up like this is the way it's supposed to be. This right, 2020 has shown us this is a year of change. We're going to have to get out of these boxes in order to get what it is we're going to need. And I applaud Ice Cube for trying to do that. You know, trying to make something was better than nothing. At least we have something, some ideals, some outline of what it is that we need, you know, in our communities. So, you know, I applaud him for that. I really do. I'm not mad at it. And if the Republicans were the only ones that was willing to talk to him about it, then let's not be mad. Be mad at the Democrats that didn't want to talk to him about it. They said, we'll talk to you about it once we're in office. That doesn't even make any sense. They're pretty much saying, vote for us and then we'll discuss what y'all need. No, let me know what you're going to do, and then I'll make my decision based on that. We wouldn't make any big business decision by, oh, well, just give me your money and then you'll see what I can do. You know, and so it's sort of like we have to think about it in the same context. They should be more open to talk to people, especially on a large platform that can influence a lot of people. They should be more open to talking to these type of people so that their agenda can get out to those that they can influence. So, I don't know. I think that what's going on is, you know, everybody wants things to stay the same, but as we see with 2020 is changing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. There's a lot of opportunities being open. There's a lot of new people out here that's making money. It is sort of like, this is sort of like a tilting season right now, where it's easier for regular people to win, to make some money, to get into business, to do some stuff. Everybody's talking about, oh, the taxes. Okay, that's all part of life. That's what happens when you get into business. There's no such thing as making money and not spending money. There's no such thing as making money and not having to give money back. He who holds much power has more responsibility. That's just how it is, you know? But we're so afraid to expand and expound, and we get stuck in our ways and things like that. And, you know, we need to like really stop thinking so group-ish. You know, we tend to do a lot of things because that's what we saw. That's what we know, instead of thinking for ourselves or thinking how can we expand on things. I've always been an expanding type of person. I see things, but I'm always somebody that be always trying to do something a little different. I've always been like that. That's why I'm considered black sheep, misunderstood. Oh, she's just a rebel. You know, but I've never been that group think type of person. And this year, it's made me so, I know it's hard to say, but it's made me happy to see so many people waking up and doing their own thing and living by their own truth on their own terms. And that's what life is about. It's not about, you know, doing what worked for the generation before or the generation before that or the generation before that. Everything has been progressing, you know, in this span of life since I've been alive, except us. We're still doing the same thing we usually do. Same thing. Ain't nothing changed. Technology changed, medicine changed, science have changed. Everything around is building, the way that they build the architect, the way that the way doctors, work on humans, psychology's even changed. But we're still sitting here trying to do the same stuff that was going on in the 60s. We're still living in 1968 when we used to march, for civil rights. Then, we're trying to live in the 70s where we had to protest. We got to get out of the box. Got to get out of the box and think progressive. What's going to work progressive that isn't going to be, us lying down and letting people walk over us and destroying our own property and everything else around it just because people aren't going to listen. There's got to be something else, and you've got to get out of the box to think it and manifest it. And that's how I feel about it, So I know pretty soon, answers are gonna come because it's a lot of beautiful, younger, out of the box thinkers that are starting to really make a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And and that's what we need. Fresh ideas, something different, something new, something that haven't been done before, something bold. To make people, respect and want to have those conversations with us, because this regular stuff that we've been doing over the last 40, 50, 60 years, we need something else to do. This isn't going to work. We need to get out of our regular patterns and create something different. And if that didn't work, then create something else different. There's nothing wrong with change. We have to go through 99 no's to get to the one yes that we're looking for. So let's start, stop recycling the same one no, and let's start throwing everything out so that we can get our yes and we can get what it is we need. More funding for HBCUs, more funding for home buyers in impoverished or urban communities, more money into small businesses that are minority based. We can do that. It's there, but we could use more. We can use more money, more finances, more help. Let's build up our own communities without having to have gentrification. Why, in order for a community to become progressive, they have to knock out the black and brown, and then it's like, okay, now we see all of the good stores and we see all of the money, the little small shops and bakeries and stuff like that. Now we can thrive as a community once we got the black and brown out. We should be able to do that with the black and brown in. Let's get more money for small businesses, for the black and brown, in their own communities, so that they can live within their own communities, work within their own communities, put jobs into their own communities, daycares in their own communities, clean up their own communities, and then let's see what happens. That's what I'm sitting over here waiting on. I've been waiting on this for a long time. So I hope to see it within my lifetime. All right, peace, love, and light.